It does?
Y'all are circling. Buffering.
It says you are now live.
Let's see the top chat. Chat came up with. It's spinning.
Oh, we're spinning?
And then we go to Facebook.
No.
Chronicle. What, out of Frank's page?
Yeah. That's the spinning on YouTube is probably what we was on before.
Okay, so it's just now dealing with the insecure mates. I see you moving around. No green screen. Still moving.
Okay. Are we there?
So yeah, that's probably okay. It's lagging.
It's lagging?
Yep. But it's you're lagging what we're saying.
Oh. So,
It's lagging. DJ Bilal is here.
What's up, DJ Bilal? We can't see him though.
okay, so how do we, where's
on your
the
phone.
oh, okay, phone.
To the comments on your phone.
Do
Just
the
turn
comments on
everything
my
down.
phone. Okay, April. We're going to be live. Just spread it. We're on Facebook only. I'll
Okay.
upload it to YouTube later.
Okay.
All right, babe. Thank you. Huh? Text phone, television, live on Facebook only. Next week, maybe we'll try YouTube. Oh my God, okay.
It's on my story, that's why.
What's on your story?
It's, see when it comes up on your page?
Yeah, but can we get it on your regular page too?
I don't know why it's like this. It should be.
Okay, there we go. Okay, everybody is there, baby. And we playing with our phones. Hi. I'm tired now. This is T. Hatchett, and
Y'all know what's up.
and we are the Hatchett Chronicles. And guys, when I tell you that we have had some difficulties with tech stuff, it is crazy. I haven't been able to do my sermon, and
X that out.
I keep Xing it out and keep coming back. I haven't been able to do my sermon in 2 Sundays. As you can see, we're not on YouTube. We can only do Facebook. And listen, we trying to be here, y'all. It's just, and we're not the only ones. Our whole AIM family is having tech problems. So just bear with us. You know, when you start doing something good, you know, there's always those little bumps in the road that try to deter you. But we not trying to hear that. How's everybody doing? Hey, Chris. Hey, DJ Bilal. DJ Bilal, I didn't get tomorrow's set. Don't start acting like Mustafa and
Whatever, don't do that. Don't do
and
that.
him.
What's up, Eunice?
Hey, Eunice.
Chris Allen, what's happening, brother?
April, our partner in crime and in good things also. Thank you for the help, honey. So, you want to do some shout outs? Some shameless plugs?
You go right ahead.
Well, guys, I'm excited because guess what? I'm almost finished the book. I have been working diligently with that book, and I am almost finished it. I will be finished before the end of this week. I want to say I'll be finished tomorrow, but I ain't going. I ain't going front. I be getting these writer's blocks, and so, but it definitely will be finished by the end of the week. I'm so excited about that. From my rib. Anyway,
I'm with you.
whatever. Anyway, what else is going on? Oh, our gospel artists will be in the studio from the 10th through the 14th, 15th, through the 16th. And he will be hopefully, if God willing, if I'm able to do my sermon, because his song, one of his songs is actually the theme song for Sunday morning worship with Minister T. Hatchett. And he's going to be working with my husband to do some music to bring y'all some good gospel. That good gospel. And also, he's being interviewed with Eunice White, an interview with on Tuesday, next Tuesday, not tomorrow, because she has another guest tomorrow. Eunice, you can write in the feed who your guest is, because I don't remember offhand, I'm sorry. But tune in tomorrow night at 8 p.m. for a interview with. For Eunice Rice, an interview with. She be doing her thing, y'all. And shout out to April J. Armstrong, poetress, April J. Armstrong. First of all, she's our signed artist with Untapped. Our very first, and as of yet, only spoken word artist.
DJ Just J.
And the best spoken word artist. Okay, so look out for her, what she got coming out. She's also the president of AIM, our AIM family. Tania, I am trying to think of your show. Please charge it to the head and not the heart. But Tania has a show, and her show just started back up. Hey, but what's the name of Tania's show? And it is The Bomb, y'all. So tune in for that. I think that's on Wednesday nights or Thursday nights. I can't remember, but April will write it into the feed for y'all. DJ Burlau is on our station, Untapped Music Radio, every Tuesday at 6 p.m. till 8 p.m. He is the after work. He had the after work mix going on. Tune into him. And also, some of his gospel music I usually play in the morning, Tuesday morning, or sometimes on Saturday. So just tune in, because he's all over our station, because he's that good, y'all. Believe it.
I must say,
yeah,
my brother is doing his thing.
Yes, he is. So believe it. He's in there. Tania is Friday nights at 5 p.m. It's called Let the King Speak. So guys, go in and support her. She's of our AIM family. So go and support her. Eunice is interviewing Theo, Mr. Entertainment Huff. Theo, Mr. Entertainment Huff. Tomorrow at 8 p.m. So, y'all, we are doing big things here, and we're just asking for the support. Keep supporting us and bear with us. Like I said, we're all having tech issues, but we're going to try to work it out. Matter of fact, we will work it out, because as I told my AIM fam, listen, we already in the door. So, it ain't like nothing can block us or stop us. We are already in the door. Baby, what you got going on?
You basically summed it all up. I'm just trying to...
Oh, yeah, Sister Talk with my sister Val. How could I forget my sister? Wednesday, she's live on Wednesdays at 7:30 or 7 o'clock. I'm not sure. 7:30, I think it is. But then her show is on Untapped Music Radio every Friday at 7:30, and Then we repeat on Saturdays at 6. Sister Talk is coming back. On the radio, we've been repeating her shows because she's been on her hiatus until the holiday, but she has revamped. She will be back this Wednesday. So check her out, y'all. And did I get everything? If I missed anybody, please charge it to the head and not the heart. I think I got everything. You said I summed everything up?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. So, let's get to the topic. So, the topic today is having an insecure mate. What if your mate was insecure? I mean, you married them, everything was right, you everything going good, except for they're insecure. If you go to work, they're thinking something is going on. You know, somebody could lie to them and tell them something and they believe it. What do? You love your mate. You want to be with your mate, but they're very insecure. They're always worried about you stepping out or leaving them or somebody trying to take you from them. How do you deal with that?
Put them out.
Oh, April want me to tell y'all about Thursday at 7 p.m. The BIPOC Poets Collective presents Black History Month open mic. That is on Thursday at 7 p.m. And y'all please be there because guess what? Our mom gonna be there.
Yeah, my mom is gonna tune in and
spitting her poem, and so I want y'all to hear that because she's good.
Yeah, it's gonna be some dope poets on there.
Yeah, so don't forget about that at 7 p.m. Hi, Carmen. Hi, cuz. She said, I'm here, cousins.
What's up, cuz?
We love you, too. And so, again, how do you deal with an insecure mate? Go ahead, baby. Tell us about it.
I have nothing to say about that.
Why? because I just don't deal with that.
I can't get into it. Dealing with an insecure mate would be a lot of problems, I would say, because that's a recipe for disaster, if you ask me.
So do you feel like that? Okay, let's play angel advocate. Let's say I was insecure. Because the reason why I say me more than you, because you be in the studio 24/7.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and you have artists that comes in, and you know the door be shut, and y'all be doing your thing. So what if I was insecure? How would you deal with me? Because we have a relationship where we're honest, we're good with each other, we don't have no argument. So how would you deal if I was insecure? If that was the only thing.
You know something, babe, like that right there is something that I don't know how I would deal with that, because I've been in that situation before, and at this point in my life and the way I feel now, like I really don't think I could deal with that, because I really couldn't deal with it then. You know what I mean? It took a lot away from, things that I was doing when I was in the studio. Like, I'll be in the studio, I'm getting called 4 and 5 times. Like, how much longer you gonna be there? You plan on being there all night? Who's there with you? And, that kind of stuff. And that's a headache, man, because I just started turning my phone off. And then when you turn your phone off and you get to the crib after being at the studio all night, now you're tired, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You've been in there rocking out all night, or whatever the case may be. Then when you get home, it's a whole nother level of arguing and
do you think it's salvageable? Do you think that the relationship could be fixed or worked on if the person is insecure?
If you sit down and tell them where that is and they still keep doing it, no. Personally, I don't think so. Because I had that talk with her several times, and each time, it was just like, you know, it went in one ear and out the other.
So you think that's something
And
that
then
has
it was
to be
cool.
worked on separately?
That needs to be talked about in the beginning before there even is a relationship, because of the simple fact that, you know, if you starting a date and you're telling a person, hey, this is what I do for a living, right? And you know, they have quirks with it or whatever. Right there is the time to say yay or nay to that relationship, or you know, if they're willing to work on it or whatever the case may be. But to go ahead and move on and get into that relationship, and then you know, when everything starts to turn over, I don't see a relationship working in that capacity, and I don't see that it could be salvaged or fixed. You know, once you know it really, you know, once it really hits rock bottom or whatever, I don't think it can be salvaged or fixed.
Okay, so our Facebook fam, let me hear from y'all. What do y'all think? Do you think that, you know, a relationship with an insecure mate can be fixed through talk? And you're making, baby, you're saying like you had enough. You sound like you're talking about when the line is just broken. What about in the beginning when it first started? Maybe you could fix it from there before it get too bad.
This is what I'm saying. In the beginning, you need to have that conversation, and if they're not willing to, but see, here's the thing: you can have that conversation in the beginning, and it's, you know, everything is new. Once everything is new, it's all, you know, peaches and cream. Everything. Oh, I got a new guy. I got a new girl. Everything. Oh, she's so beautiful. Blah 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 blah. Right? Mm-hmm. And the insecurity may not be as strong as it turns into once the dating or whatever you want to call it gets into 5 months, 6 months, 7 months. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Along those lines, when it starts to turn into some time when y'all being together, you know, at a significant amount of time, then, you know, it starts to rear its ugly face, you know? So, I just don't think that it's hard to deal with that. It's hard. It's really, really hard to deal with an insecure mate. And it doesn't even have to be the studio. It could be, you know, insecurities about, you know, you saying hi to a woman, or a woman saying hi to your man
Or
at
somebody,
the mall, or
you might see a dress that looks good on, that somebody else is wearing that you think might be looking good
Right.
on your mate, but
And you
you
say
looking
and it's why you looking at it, I like that,
Yeah.
you know, and vice versa. You know what I'm saying? You might see a dude with a nice suit on, and you know, why you looking at that nigga like that?
So you're saying yes, that you feel like it can be salvageable, or salvageable. Y'all, I can't. I can't. But so you're saying you think it can be saved, or you think that no, it can't be? And I want to hear from y'all. What do y'all think? Carmen said, wait, I got to go back up because she had said something like, I said, how do you deal? She said, you don't.
That's a fact.
Why you got to be like your cousin, huh?
Hey, look, man, it's tough.
April said,
Excuse me.
put them out. Really? LOL. You know,
No,
here's how I see it. I think in our business we couldn't deal with it. But let's say if you did something else, like, I don't know,
it could be anything.
a school teacher or something.
Okay, Angel's Advocate, you're a school teacher, right?
Uh-huh.
You have a PTA meeting and both of y'all go, right? Mm-hmm. You could be talking to one of the teachers, one of the male teachers, about your son. You know, that's a student. You understand what I'm saying?
So doesn't it depend the level of insecurity? Because some people are insecure and it's not like outright. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's like, you know, they're insecure, but you don't. It's subtle.
Insecure is insecure.
Well, that's true.
Whether subtle or not, it's still the case of being insecure. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, oh, excuse me,
April
you guys.
said, I would like to think it can be saved if the insecure one is willing to work on it. Then they won't work on it. Then they work on it together. See, that's positive, and I think
it sounds
so.
good, but what happens when the insecurity takes over the conversation? What if they just can't get past that? You know what I'm saying?
Well, April,
The
answer that. What
the
if you can't
conversation.
get past it?
Anybody answer that? Anybody? I want to pose that to everybody. Anybody and everybody. What if they just can't get past that? Then in that case, what do you do? How do you react? How do you respond to that? Because that can very well draw a wedge in between your relationship, and between you and your significant other. Whether it be a boyfriend, a girlfriend, a wife, a husband, whatever. I just know that because it drew a wedge in between mine, man. It did. And I had to get up out of there. I had to head for the hills because it wasn't cool.
So, I'm waiting for them. I'm slow. I think the feed is slow too. I get it, but yeah, I agree with you, baby. I can't even argue that point because I agree because it can be, no matter what you do, it can be a burden because they even if they try to hold it inside, certain actions gonna come out regardless of what they do.
You could be on your way to the movies or something, and you stop to get gas, and you get out and you pumping the gas or whatever, or
wait, you just said if they can't get past that, then the relationship is over because they're not going to run me crazy. I know that's right.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Yeah, and people will say, you was getting ready to say you could be out, but people will do things not knowing. Like, I remember one time I was in a car with some guy. I mean, it might have been you, baby, and somebody offered to pump. No, it wasn't you. Somebody offered to, another male offered to pump my gas, and he was like, that's how men's supposed to do. But they didn't know the other person's situation, why they didn't get out to pump my gas. So, that was kind of presumptuous of them to think that,
That was me.
It was you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So
we was on our way to Jersey. I remember.
Oh, okay.
Clearly.
And so I thought that was kind of presumptuous of him to assume that, my husband could have gotten out to pump gas, but just didn't. He didn't know why my husband didn't get out to pump gas. He didn't know the situation. So, but if my husband was insecure or had something going on inside of him, then that could have been that could have turned out somewhere different.
I don't feel no type of way about it because, number one, I am sort of disabled. I ain't claiming that whole thing like that. But anyway.
But that's what I'm saying. He didn't know what was wrong with it. So for him to presume that you just wasn't getting out.
I was like, look, nigga, pump the gas, nigga. Go ahead. I can sit here and talk to my wife.
A lot of guys do that,
pump
though.
The gas, sucker.
A lot of guys try to use that as, well, no, I'm not going to say a lot of guys because I don't know everybody in the world. I'm just saying certain guys do have that thing where they try to use, oh, look, your man sitting in a car and, I'm going to pump the gas because that's why he going to, it's almost like they putting something on you. Yeah, reaching for something so you can see them. And I don't,
but see,
that's very,
it's corny, it's disrespectful, or whatever the case. But the thing is with me, I don't take to that because I know what our situation is, right? And you think you earning some points by pumping the gas, nigga? You ain't doing nothing but exert extra energy that you really didn't need to because you could have did that pumping your own gas and wiping your own windows down. You understand that? Dog, that's not giving you no points with my wife because you pumped our gas. If that was the case, you know what I'm saying?
I don't think that people should stand in judgment. I've heard
Right.
men say before, if I see a woman pumping her gas and her man sitting in a car,
Her man ain't
no
that's
good.
HIT.
And
He
yeah,
ain't no
you
good.
don't
He ain't
know
this and he ain't
why
that.
he's sitting in the car. That is very,
To just prejudge like
yeah,
that is
that's
wrong.
very
Yeah,
wrong
it's
to do that.
It's wrong.
And so, I've never gone in for those type things because I just, don't judge a book by its cover.
But if I was insecure, it could
It
have
would
turned
have.
into
It
something
could have
big.
turned into something big, and I'm talking about things like that come out. And with a woman, some women are insecure to the point where they're very timid, and so they don't want to do. They're doing, and that's a different type. What about that insecurity, baby? The type where somebody is very insecure because they're so insecure they're timid. They do everything their man say, and they don't try to argue with their man. The man might be dogging them, but they take it because they afraid to lose that guy because of their insecurities. Now, see, that's a different type of
insecurity, but that's more like that's being under a ruling fist, like controlling almost.
Yeah, but it's not. I
I understand that the concept of insecurity in that capacity. I understand that, but I'm just saying, that just sounds like ruling with an iron fist. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
people
being
just take
controlled.
advantage of that, though.
They do.
Like,
They do.
remember when we first got together and I said you was the head of the household, and I said, but what I liked about you was that you didn't go overboard or use it as a big head. You still asked me. Like I said, you had the last word. But you still asked me. And I still believe you have the last word because you're the head of the household. But you still ask me. It's not like you take advantage of that. Well, we're going to do this and I don't care what you say.
No,
you
can't.
always discuss it with me.
You can't do that.
So if you have a person that's insecure, that's just like in anything. Like somebody might get a higher position and it goes to their head. And so they start acting a certain way. So if you have someone who you are with that is already insecure and timid, sometimes that can go to a person's head, man or woman. And they can start acting, rudely, unknowingly almost, until they get in a habit of it. Like, do this. And they don't realize that it's become a habit. But that's through the person's insecurity. Eunice said, I've been guilty of having insecurities. Insecurities start from childhood, daddy issues. You know what? I do agree with that, Eunice, because I feel, one of my mother-in-laws told me a long time ago that if your daddy is not around, a girl constantly search for a daddy if she don't have a daddy figure around. She constantly is in search for a daddy figure in her man. And that's what makes women sleep around with a lot of men or blah, blah, blah. Now, I don't know whether I agree with totally on that, but there is some truth to that. Because when you have daddy issues, usually we only know from what we see. James Rodman, I wish he was on here because he expressed that very well in his book, that he patterned himself after his uncles because that's all he had to pattern, how a man should treat a woman. So, just like girls, as for being a woman, when we're little girls, we look at how our father treat our mom or how our mom act. Like for
and
me,
vice versa.
yeah,
As
like
boys,
we do the same thing. Like for me, I had issues, wasn't insecure issues. I was a tyrant because my mom was the ruler of our ship. I mean, she, even with my father.
Yeah,
so,
she ruled with an iron fist.
yeah, so my thing was, I'm in charge and, you just do what I say because that's what I saw, For me, I wanted to run over a man. I wanted to rule over a man. And at the same time, I didn't like men who was wimpy either. So it was a clash there. And it took me until I was older to realize that that's not what she was doing and that's not how it went. But at first it was like, oh no, it's my way or the highway. I'm in charge here because I only saw the women as the head of the household. So I didn't even take into consideration what she always said about a man: don't kick a man when he's down, and tact is having a man go to hell and make him feel happy to be on his way. I didn't conceive what they meant until I got older. But yes, Eunice, I definitely think a lot of insecurities come from daddy issues. And April said, me too, Eunice, why mine is cheating. And yes, that can cause insecurities. But what happens when you allow them to fold over into your next relationship, and that man should not have to pay for what somebody else done for you? That's about unpacking your luggage. That's about not taking dirty laundry into your new relationship. So there's a thing of being prepared, or God, I feel like God prepares you. Because like I have told the story many times before me and my husband, I would not have been with this man if God hadn't prepared me for him. And so I truly believe that the one that's right for you, God prepares you for, so that when he comes into your life, you'll be able to...
He prepares both of y'all.
Yeah, he prepares both of you. That's right, baby.
Because I had to be prepared for you, you know? He had to work with me for you. Because this isn't like any other relationship that I've ever had in my life. You know what I mean? And it's, you know, you have to be prepared for the journey. Because people always say, you know, marriage is 90% work, 10% love. Wrong. I believe if you do things right and you ask God to ordain your marriage and to sustain your marriage, to maintain your marriage, and you go to him about everything in your marriage, I believe that it's a cakewalk, because we don't really have problems. We do, but they aren't. It's not anything that serious.
They're saying that they
to even
speak up.
Can y'all hear me? You want me to yell? I just feel that you know, if you do it right, you should be good.
I do agree with your husband, and what I feel like is that, you know, if you're evenly yoked and your relationship is ordained by God, then there won't be no problems. There won't, your insecurity, you'll be surprised how many things fade when it's ordained by God. You'd be surprised things that you thought would bother you. And I wish my sister Val was on, because she can speak to that. How things that you thought would bother you doesn't really, you'd be like, oh, and he said so-and-so, and you know, usually I would go off, but it didn't bother me this time. We have walked that path with our, even before we got married. You know, God knew we were meant to be, but we didn't know it. And things that we usually done or seen, we didn't see or do during the time that before we got married.
We were courting.
When we was courting, you know. Yeah, courting. Or even before we was courting, when we were flirting.
Talking.
Yeah, flirting with each other. We didn't see each other flirting with each other.
Yeah.
But had we, it would have been a different thing.
Crazy, because that was really blind.
Yeah.
It was really a blind eye.
Which
because
was not
you didn't
normal
see
for
me
us.
and I didn't see you, but we was definitely flirting back and forth, and we missed a lot of signs between us. And
but it wasn't meant to be.
It was not. It was not. It was not.
God had us on a journey the time that He wanted us to be together and get together.
That's right.
And so, even with insecurities, I believe that it can work out, but it can work out with the person you're right with.
Of course. Now, if you right with a person and, you know, and you talk about it and you get the person to see, you know, where the insecurity is coming from, and it has to be a talk, not an argument or not a yelling match, you know. I think that, you know, if you guys are right for each other, technically speaking, if you right for each other, I don't see that there would be an insecurity.
No, because a lot of, like we said, a lot of things that you used
Well,
to do,
different
you wouldn't do
insecurities
no more.
on different levels. Is that what you're saying?
I don't think there would be.
I don't think so.
I don't
really
think there would be none
I don't think
because
so either, because you already know each other. You know what you've gotten into. You know what's going on, and you know the premise of the relationship, the marriage, or whatever you want to call it. You know exactly what you know.
yeah, so you don't feed into those
to those other
negativities
things.
that you
right,
usually do.
Right.
Eunice said they will continue until you do self-healing. True that.
True indeed.
April said, I agree, Eunice White. I'm starting to fully understand that I haven't done that and taking steps toward that self-healing. Yes, I agree, April. And that's what I'm talking about. God prepares you for... I do believe, trust me when I say, God will prepare you for your mate that he has for you. Before he even comes to you. If it's right, God is going to prepare you for them. And then when you get
in
with
all
them,
aspects.
in all aspects, and then when you get there, there is no. I believe that the reason why me and my husband doesn't have arguments or doesn't have that, I got to work on relationships. We don't have that because we allow God to place us. We allow God to intervene. So everything else, because trust me, you know what? I'm talking to y'all so sensible now about me and my husband, but if y'all had to seen me before I got with my husband, before me, it was me and him, and before God really worked on me, y'all would have said, who is that? Talk to my sister Val sometimes. She'll tell you, I'm totally different.
She was a piece of work.
Whatever.
She was. But you know what's crazy? I didn't really pay that no mind because we opened up a friendship that, in my eyes, surpassed the quote-unquote her being...
Crazy?
Yeah, so to speak. Well, not crazy, but you know what I mean.
My ways.
Yeah, your ways. But, I mean, if you're in the right space with a person, I don't believe that there would be insecurities.
I don't either. And I think God will give that person what they need to
be able to maintain and understand that.
Thank you for using that word, because I don't want to use the word handle or deal with you,
No,
but be able to maintain what they have with you.
Mm-hmm.
God works with both of y'all, not just you or him. He works with both of y'all. So
that you both can maintain.
Yeah, so that both of
what
y'all,
you have.
because we all
we all
of us
got quirks in our own little ways.
Yeah.
Don't
So,
trip like,
Yeah, so he works with that. And the person that's right for you, you won't have that problem.
And then too, like if the person is right for you, even if that is a problem.
Hey Steve, I miss you, cuz.
Cuz, what's up? Even if that is a problem, I think that it won't be a problem overcoming it because it won't be as significant because you're already, in tune with one another. You know what I'm saying? So once you get in tune, I really don't think that, like I said, once you get in tune, I don't think that the insecurity thing will be a factor.
Carmen said, I am being prepared. Now, that's what the hard work is, God preparing you.
That's right.
Because, let me tell you, sometimes he make you look inside yourself and you see some stuff, be like, I don't like that. Is that me? Really? Is that me? So, I think the preparation is harder than the actual being in a relationship. The walk.
The preparation is, it gives you time to reflect on yourself, to see if this is something that you really want to do, if this is something that you are built for, if this is something that you are going to, if this is what you really want in your life. You know what I'm saying? Because you could very well say, man, I want to be married, and have no clue about what marriage should be about. Or, dang,
or
man,
not
I'm
even prepared to deal with it.
Right, or not even married, but you could be single and say, man, dang, I need me a girl. I'm about to get me a girl. and don't even understand the ramifications of what it's going to be to actually get into that situation and get a girl. You know what I mean?
A good example of that is when I was in Georgia the first time, when me and you was just friends, and I was celibate. And one day on Saturdays, I usually get up and throw on my music and clean up the house. And one day I was cleaning up the house and I was changing my sheets, and I started to say to God, I was like, man, I'm ready. I want somebody in my life. And then I thought about it because I was doing it as I was changing my sheets. And I said, God, I take that back.
Because I was right outside.
No.
I was right in the living room.
No.
Yes, I was.
I took that back because when I thought about it, I was in my own world. I was happy. I didn't have to change my sheets unless I wanted to. You know, I could get up at 11 if I chose to do whatever I wanted to do. I didn't have nobody else that I was responsible for.
Mm-hmm.
Understand, when you become a mate, get with a mate, you become one. You're responsible for
Everything
that.
Everything becomes a compromise.
Yeah. And so I didn't have to compromise, and I wasn't ready to compromise at the time. And when I thought about it, I was like, never mind, God, I didn't mean that. You know, I lost my mind for a minute because I wasn't ready to compromise. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's knowing that. It's understanding when you are ready. You just can't let that one physical thing of loneliness dictate
your being, and you getting into a relationship.
Exactly.
And settling for something that you're not happy with.
Exactly. Or you're in something because you're lonely and you're tired of doing everything yourself, or tired of being by yourself. You want to share, but then you get in a relationship and they take from you because it's like you might be building a business or something, and you know, you have to take from building that business to spend time with them. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, but if you're not ready for that, build your business first, right, and then find somebody. Yeah. Or you might want to buy a house, but they're not in a position, not ready. So you have to slow up what you're doing, right, to wait till they catch up.
Right.
It's not the right time. Maybe, you wait for your mate instead of doing. You have to really consider all of this as being in a relationship, because most people don't think about that, especially when they get lonely, because that can take over.
Yeah, loneliness, that's heavy. But you know what? I think once you go through the thing and you find out, hey, all right, okay, I'm ready to move now. I think that, everything that I was trying to accomplish, I've accomplished, whether it's building a business or whatever. Once you get to that space, then I think it's cool. But, you got to be,
or you can grow together.
You can grow together. But I was telling somebody the other day that, I was asked a question, and I told him, I said, I don't think he was ready for marriage. Because it's been, some years, and, they have not stepped out once, but then, talking to other people and entertaining other situations and stuff like that, and still being married. You know what I mean? Wasn't ready for that. Wasn't ready for that. And you got to know that yourself, that, hey, I'm not ready for marriage. I'm not ready to be a boyfriend, or I'm not ready to be a girlfriend. These are things that you have to be ready for before you get into a relationship. Because if not, then it's a waste of time. You wasted your time. You wasted that person's time. And then, too, if all else, you just put a damper on a friendship that you could have had for the rest of your life with a person. Because every situation doesn't have to end bad, I mean, and you do become somewhat friends, as you're building a relationship with a person.
I think what happens is people forget that sometimes God put people in your life for a season. And because you get blinded by how good of time you're having for that season, then you try to force it into a lifetime thing when that person was only there for that season.
Yeah, that too.
And so that causes for bad marriages. Steve said, insecurity brings on doubt. Doubt brings on an untrustworthy relationship. Amen to that. So I have a question for you after I answer these things. Carmen says, you have to have patience and really trust God. And wait, I say, on the Lord. Amen.
Amen to that.
I am because it will be for keeps. Till death do us part, but only by God's will. And I pray for discernment. Amen, Carmen. Eunice said, how do we help people recognize their insecurities?
If you notice it, you have to have a conversation with them. But
if they're not ready, they're not going to
But
get it.
here's the thing, though. But the conversation can't be, and I told you so, or it can't be a finger-pointing conversation. You have to ease into it and say, hey, did you ever notice that when we do this, you do that, or I do this, and you react like that, or if I do this, you react like that, or you do that, and I react like this. You got to kind of make it an easy flowing conversation in order for them to be receptive.
I think that's in all communication. I took a communication class one time, and one of the number one rules in communication is you can never start out a communication with "you did,"
right,
or "you are." You have to always start out in any communication as "I feel like," because then you're talking about your feelings. You're not pointing the finger at them, because automatically. And this is what I learned in my communication class. Automatically, if you start out pointing the finger, that person is not going to hear.
No, they automatically rebel.
They're going to get defensive.
And they go into a protection mode.
So you have to start out with how you are feeling. I feel like this. And you have to listen, and you have to stop. You can't go on and on. You have to say, I feel so-and-so way. And then stop and allow them to express how they feel. That's how conversation is supposed to go. 9 times out of 10, we don't have, especially in relationships, we don't have conversations like that. And we automatically attack, especially when it comes to our feelings and insecurity. First thing we do is attack. So in going back to Eunice's question, I think it's a point of, one, that person has to be ready to deal with their insecurities. And 2 is how you present it to them. You talk about yourself and how, but on the other hand of that, you have to be careful too, because the other thing is that person is not you. So you shouldn't expect them to react or act like you.
That's so key.
So keep that in mind also.
That is so key. Everyone does not think like you. So if you agree to disagree, or if you disagree with something, you can't look at it from, well, I think like, I think this
they should have did so-and-so because that's what I would do. They're not you.
Everybody is not you. And you cannot think that someone else is going to think the way you think.
Or act like you do.
Or respond the way you respond.
Exactly. You might do it that way, and then for you it's like, well, how could they not? Because I see it, but they're not you. They might see it totally different.
Right.
It's not your place to say how they should feel or how they should see things.
Or how they should react.
Or how they should react to something.
Right.
Because they are not you. And I know we as women do that a lot. We feel like, well, if that was me, I would do so. Because we are emotional creatures. But what we have to understand is we're not that person. And that person could be totally different from us. And it's hard sometimes.
And you have to be able to, think with an optimistic mind. Because, just because someone does something and it may not agree with you, you don't know what their reason for doing that is. You know what I mean? So you have to look at it optimistically, like, yo, man, I would have never done that. That's you, but you don't know why they did it. What was the premise behind the reason why they did it? What was the thought pattern for them to even, go into that? You know what I mean? So you have to be mindful, man. That's why communication is key in a relationship. You have to communicate. You got to talk, man.
Eunice said, "Is that what they call projecting?" Is what I think we.
Projecting? What do you mean?
I definitely believe that. I definitely believe that it can be. I think insecurities can be worked on. I don't think, baby, it's in a relationship. I believe that it can, if it's right, if it was meant to be. I believe a relationship, anything that's meant to be, anything in a relationship
can be worked out.
Can be worked
right.
out.
It can be. It can if it's meant to be. I believe that it could be worked out, but you know, but then too at the same time.
Hey, Ann, thank you, baby.
At the same time, you gotta want to work something out.
That's true. That's another thing.
You understand what I'm saying?
I think you gotta ask yourself, why am I in this relationship?
You could go to counseling. You could sit down and, everything sounds good between the both of you. It looks good between the both of you. But you have to be honest with yourself and your heart of hearts. If that's not what you agree with, you have to say that. You can't hold that in. Because the longer you would go with that and the longer you agree with that, the worse off you're going to be, because you're just giving up time and settling for something that you really don't want and really don't need.
And I believe anything that you got to force.
If you got to force it, it's not supposed to be.
I don't care how little the thing is that you got to force. Anything that you got to force is not meant to be.
If you have something that does not add to you, you don't need it. If it don't add to you,
Amen.
You don't need it.
Amen. I certainly agree with that. Now, baby, I'm going to ask this question. So, in all this talk, so what if somebody came to you and said, I'm in a relationship, I love that person, okay? This person is so insecure, should I leave this person? What would you tell them?
First thing I would do is ask if they talked about it.
Yes, we have tried everything, and they still, I can't, that's the only thing about this person, is they so insecure, it's causing a very bad split in our relationship.
Did you pray about it?
I'm thinking about whatever, how am I? Yes, okay, answer the question yes or no. Yes, I did pray, and it's still not working out.
It's not my, my answer to that would be this. You need to do what your heart is telling you to do. It's okay for you to be happy. It's okay for you to be happy. And you don't have to settle. You need to do what your heart says do. So ask yourself if that situation is good for you. If that situation feels good. And how much of that situation is giving you a problem throughout your day, throughout your week, throughout your month? How many times do you have to battle with that situation in a day or in a week? If you got to battle with that thing 2 and 3 and 4 times a week, you're forcing something that's not organic. You don't need that because it's not adding to you. It's taken away from you.
I don't know why the
so
sound
that would be my
low.
answer.
And the saying the sound is low too. Everybody's saying the sound is low, so I guess we just have to talk up because I don't know. First of all, we're on Facebook and we're not on YouTube, and we're having technical difficulties, so I don't know why. Too low FPS. Your current frame rate is too low. Please set the frame rate of 15 to 60. I don't know how to set the frame rate, so I don't know why we are low. So, so we'll try to talk higher, talk louder. But so Eunice said, I think if you have to ask that question, you already know the answer. Right. Great response, Eunice.
Right.
Me too. You just don't want to face it. Ann said if it don't add to you, they take it away.
That's right.
Carmen said insecurities do keep following you. Y'all got time. Okay, so she said people sometimes carry baggage from one relationship to another without healing first, and it takes time to heal. Y'all got to take time to heal. You know what? I just had a conversation about that. There is this old video. It's like at least, I don't know, 10, 20 years old. Maybe not 20, but it's old. Maybe 10 years. It's Juanita Bynum. It's called No More Sheets. And when me and my husband first got together, my god sister, or his god sister, let me see this video. And first of all, you got to be prepared. It's mainly for women. Men can watch it too. But you got to be prepared for this. Because 9 times out of 10, if you're not ready to see this, it's going to tear you up inside and you ain't going to be able to finish watching it. But if you're prepared for it, if you're in that place, then it's very informative. And like Carmen was saying, because they were talking about that in the video, Juanita Bynum was talking about it, that you carry baggage. And what that means is you're filled up. Like women, per se, are depositors. We get deposit into. So we have been with, we might have 3 husbands, okay? And so we have been with 3 men. And so we get filled up. And in order for us to be prepared for the one that's right for us, we have to clean our sheets. We have to give ourselves time to be empty, so to speak. And so if we don't give ourselves that time, then when you're deposited in, it's just running over. It's just running over. It's not getting to you. And your other half that's meant for you can never get to you if you're so clouded down with all this past stuff. So it is very important. Carmen, thank you for making that point. It is very important to take time. I would not, had I not took the time and let God prepare me for him, we wouldn't have been here. We wouldn't be sitting here. And the same for him. If he hadn't took that time out to prepare for me, we wouldn't have been sitting here.
Yeah, because I definitely went through a transformation. I definitely
I did too.
I really went through a transformation. And to God be the glory that I did. Because I'm happy. I'm truly, truly, truly happy. I'm truly happy.
Me too, honey.
Whatever.
Carmen said trust is key. Without trust and communication, you're going to have problems. That's true, but if you won't have trust if you have a lot of insecurities.
It's hard to trust with insecurity.
Exactly. You have to get rid of insecurity in order to trust.
So, if you're in a relationship with a lot of insecurities, more power to you. No,
First, you got to ask yourself, is it worth it?
Right. And if it is worth it, then
y'all got work to do.
Work to do, and seek counseling if you need to, or whatever you need to do. I know my only advice is to seek God and ask God to help you with that, because that's the only miracle worker that I know.
And understand, you can't change nobody. I don't care what you do.
Yeah.
If somebody has insecurities and they not ready to deal, you can bend over backwards, do flips.
You can do anything.
Paint yourself blue.
And they're not going to change.
It's not going to change.
And they have to be willing to change.
Exactly.
And
work on it.
To do better and want to not be insecure.
Yeah, and so if you got issues or both of y'all got issues and then y'all trying to work on a relationship and work on yourself,
nah.
It's not going to work.
No, that's not going to do it. Definitely not going to do.
So that being said, it is...
Our time is up. Yeah. Wow, that was quick.
Yeah, because we worked so hard trying to get